I need a bad girl to make my homie lose his cool. I need a bad girl who love listen to the bad Ice Cube. I need a bad girl to make me wanna break the roof. I need a bad girl, boom chicka wow wow, sex on my roof.
Hi guys, this is Miss Polly. We are back again. So I wanted to share with you guys another topic. We've been trying to get some topics out here just for discussion. We will start our podcast soon, so then we'll have our interactions coming. Have some people out here, so be ready for that. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and like the videos. We also have like anyone who wants to bring up a topic, we can go ahead and put that out. We're gonna have 3 sessions. We have a healthy session. Our health session is basically, talking about my health process. I'm not only a life coach, I am a mom. I'm saying, like, we wear different hats, women. You know what I'm talking about. We're wearing hats all over the place. We different women all day long. We are not just moms. We are people who have dreams and goals. We are, very strong individuals. So we want to be able to show everyone who we are in all aspects, if we can. And even if we're just focused on one at a time, let's just be great in all the things that we do. So the topics, I've been bringing up, kind of evolve now more about not just poly relationships, but kind of moving into all relationships and trying to kind of bring them together, because just because you're poly, you still have relationship issues. You still go through that process. It's just with more than one person. And so one of the big things that I like to bring up is compartmentalizing. Now, that's one big thing for people who are poly, where they say, I have a relationship over here, and I get mad over here. I don't call my other partner and tell them how upset I am. And then some people who are poly believe you should be able to have that openness with your partner and be able to tell them about the woes with your other partner. And that really is a big thing. So when we talk about being poly, or even just in a monogamous relationship, how do we kind of get rid of that negative energy or bad place we are with our partners? How do we manage those things? And that's really important, to learn how to manage your feelings and emotions, and really kind of try to make the best of that. And what I mean by that is 2 things. We're going to hit the first one first. So in a monogamous situation, even not monogamous, but we'll just use monogamy because this happens a lot. You ever heard, like, well, when you tell your business to your friend or your family, they hold it, and then if let's say you went through a bad fight, your partner cheated on you, and then you go tell your friend or your family members, and they hold that forever, and they bring it up. So then every time you have an argument, they say, oh, remember he cheated on you last year? Remember when he did that to you? Remember when he said that? And you just forgave him, and blah, 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 right? And a lot of people are like, well, that's why I don't let family in my business, because if I try to move past that with my partner, if we decide to move forward, it's really hard to get that taste out of your family member's mouth and friend's mouth. And that's an issue. And you guys know the one reason why that's always an issue is because your family, even sometimes really long-term friends, their love for you is really, long-term. So when someone hurts you, in their head, their reaction is, this is not okay. And even though you forgive them or you go into a good place, they can't forgive that person. And one of those reasons is because not only because they love you a different way, but because the relationship you have with that other person, they don't have it. They do not have that. And even when you're poly, same thing. When you have separate partners, especially if you poly kind of individually, you don't poly in a closed poly where you're all together, or you're not polying together. What happens is your individual relationships, if one of your partners gets you upset, and then you go and you kind of tell the other partner, and they get mad, and then later on you may forgive your first partner, but the second one kind of leans onto that, has a little nasty attitude, like, yeah, are you still talking to him? It's because that partner doesn't have a relationship with your other partner. And without that relationship, it's easy to throw it away. Okay, so if this partner has no connection with him, he has no bond with them, a woman or a man, if they have no partner, ship with that other partner that you have, it's easy for them to be like, you know what, forget that person. And that's monogamy too. they don't have that personal relationship. They don't know them in depth like you do. So it's very easy for you to forgive, but it's not for them because they have no bond with that person. They don't know where their heart is. They don't know where their mind is. They don't know. And some people, they are right. Some people do not have good intentions for you. And when you're outside of that relationship, it is sometimes easier to see where someone else is being mistreated and abused, and abused in mental ways or all kinds of things. So it's easier for them to see and then try to advise. But in that advising, they can be hard, really hold on those hard feelings for those people. So that's, one big thing when you are in a relationship, telling your family members, telling other partners these woes you go through, and how do you manage that? So then what do you do when you need to vent? I will tell you, one good thing is, I know people think, going out sometimes to, when you go out to take a breather, going out there and having a conversation with someone you don't know, you may not meet again. That is not always the best thing in a small location, but you can go out, have a couple drinks, talk to someone, talk to a life coach, talk to any of those people who are going to go through the process with you, but not necessarily be the ones who are going to be around to really take into account that for long term. And what I mean by that is just you're just venting to someone, having a vent outlet. Now, ladies and men, do not vent on social media. These are things that are long term. They do not turn off, especially if you have a real horrible vent, scene making vent. That's forever. You'll have that plaster all over somewhere. TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Do not do that. Do not do that. And that's just because you forget once again. You forget and forget. And this is not something that happens. People are looking at you. And unfortunately, people should maybe mind their own business and let you be great if that's what you want to do. But those raw emotions that you had, though, sometimes we can lose ourselves in being angry and not mean the things that we do when we're upset, mean the things that we say when we're upset. And that's what I'm saying. Those are things you don't want to do to the wrong people who are going to then hold that. No one, you can't go back after you said he's a piece of trash and talk about several other things he's done that you just overlooked. And now you're trying to get back with this man and then ask, your cousin, do they want to come hang out with you for dinner next Saturday? Because now you made up. And they're going to be looking at this man like, why in heaven's name are you still with him? These are things you have to be careful with. So how would you manage it? Like I said, go out, maybe have a little venting session with someone you may not see again. Talk. There's some people who you have friends in your life that you don't interact with that much, associates possibly. Sometimes just giving them a little. And that's the thing, you're like, oh, I have this big drawn out story and I don't want to have to go through names and all that stuff again or missing pieces because the other people know. You can't do that. Sometimes finding an outlet, if it's listening to music, writing in a journal, you got to find a way to take that energy and even have those bad feelings, but be able to express them and give them out with low damage, because that damage you do with people, it just sometimes cannot be fixed. Putting someone's business out there on social media, telling somebody this and that, these are really, really damaging things that people can't go back, especially after you've tried to make up, and it's hard to, and so we want to be careful of that. So find your outlet. You can vent. If you have a friend who you can vent to that won't hold those feelings, I mean, that's really kind of hard to find sometimes, but if you have that, go ahead and, express that. Get yourself in a positive place by kind of just losing that energy. Like I said, listen to music, find a place where you can just release that energy. There's some places where you can just go break TVs. You pay $50 and you just bust up stuff. If that's what you need to do what you got to do. But we want to make sure that it's going to be something that's not going to be, cutting people's tires, breaking windows. Okay? Like those things we need to, because how's his mom going to look at you? Or how they going to look at you after you didn't cut the man's tires and you didn't bust his window open, and now he got to ask his mama to borrow money, or he's got to take money from some. It's a mess. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. at all. So be careful with that. Be careful with that, how you deal with those emotions. And if you need someone to talk to, that's what life coaches are for. I mean, you could easily find someone to do a session, even a free session if you need to, or just express yourself on some kind of platform. A lot of times if you go live, not a live that you're on all the time where people come in there every, if you're someone who goes live all the time, but if you just want to do a little vent session, just make a little vent so you can be heard but not held, do that. Sometimes I'll tell you, there's like I said, if you guys would like to have some life coaching sessions with me, please go check them out, because there are some really good methods that you can use to help you express yourself and be anonymous. Be anonymous. Sometimes it's just okay to be anonymous. And make sure that you take time to actually know that this is what you feel and these are the feelings you actually have, and they're not just short-term anger moments. So really work through that process. So that's one thing. Now, compartmentalize, back to what we were saying to the beginning here. So compartmentalizing is something that people can do. Some people cannot do that. They overflow into their relationships. And like I said, it depends on how you want to manage your relationship. If you want to have that overflow. But yes, definitely be aware of that. Because compartmentalizing can also come off as you being fake, because you can switch on and off. You can have an argument with someone and then go right into another conversation with someone and be happy and joy everywhere. Everybody's getting a car, but you were just in a full-blown heated conversation. So people who do that can come off as fake. So just be aware. I mean, but tell people that's what it is too. If one of your partners is like, well, how do you just go from so mad, you just forget me and then go be happy? That's not what's happening. What is happening is I'm continuing my day, because I cannot allow for this situation to affect not just another relationship, but affect work, all these things. Because if we're at that point, there's a problem. We have our arguments, we have conversations, and talk about it, and we can work it out if we have time. But when it's interrupting your day, I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes you do need to take a moment if that's what you need to work on. And if you need to be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna come to you and we're gonna work this out, because we need to work this out. Some people take a lot of days off work because they get in relationship issues, things like that. And listen, I'm not saying don't do that, especially with someone you're long-term partner with. But set aside a time to do such. If it's something that's really weighing on you lately, needs to be handled immediately, do that. If it's something that you need to think about, process your feelings, go through that process, and then come back and have a conversation, then do that. Remember, not everyone's the same. I always say that. But remember, because there's some people who are heated, and they have a nasty mouth. Nasty mouth in the beginning. And they'll talk all this good stuff, but then act like nothing happened a little later. You need to tell them like, hey, listen, you need to pause. And you have to wait, because we need time. Because I want to make sure when we have this conversation, it's going to be where everyone had thought about what they wanted to say, and they said what they mean. And if we need to work on it, let's work on it. You know what I'm saying? And remember, when you're doing that, come into the conversation like it's positive possible. I know if you're mad, that sounds crazy, but be mad. But know that you want this to either work or not. If you don't want it to work, go into there, say, hey, I just want to explain my little things I want to explain, but this isn't going to work for me. We're not going to, be able to continue or whatever. Go into there still in that positive energy of resolution. And if you want to go in there and fix it, go in the resolution. I'm not here to do anything but cause resolution, point blank. And so, yes, definitely do that. So remember, when you have your partner, to be aware of how we manage our anger, manage how we go about things, because there's sometimes we can't go back. Social media is one of those big things of family, friends, big things. Because like I said, they don't love that person like you, and they can't erase what they've done, and they will hold that. And that's why a lot of times family or friends, they have a weird energy when they're around each other, because they know what that person did to you, or they know this and that, and not the knowing of it, but the fact that they haven't forgiven them because they don't know them like you. And so it's a big process to that. And then you have to heal not only with your partner, but you have to heal with your partner and your family or friends that you did this with, because they're not going to be in the same place after things like that. So that is one thing. Making sure when you come into the argument or you're getting upset that you're either going to know that you're coming to a resolution, bad or good, and then have that energy that you have is going to be a positive energy for resolution. And then once you have that conversation, come in there with that energy. So you do need to know what you want to do, think about it, and then bring it to the table. So these are the steps you can do. Like I said, reach out to someone like life coaches, things like that. Reach out for, even you guys can hit me up. You guys know I'm on Instagram, is Polly, all platforms. If you guys need help, I also have my app I'm launching. So if you guys need this, you need help, and you need help through that process, please reach out to someone. We'll get you where you need. Don't think that your mental health and your relationship is not worth a little bit of money, a little bit of time, because if it's worth that much to you, you'll go get it. And don't say, oh, well, no, it's too much. I'm going to tell you something, because it wasn't too much if you get in an argument and you have an issue and then you miss 5 days of work out the month. You're missing money anyway. How about use that money, or maybe not even the whole money, use some of that money you have to make a resolution for yourself, for, your whole family, and be able to move in a positive way, either way it is, and go forward. So I wanted to share with you guys. If you have any more questions, you want to hear more videos about compartmentalizing or dealing with our feelings, our negative feelings, and trying to move forward with our partners in that way, let me know, guys. You know where to find me. So I'll let you go now, and you guys have a great day.